Okay. Would you like for me to welcome? I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting. As Pam said, this is your meeting, so we're looking for a lot of feedback. We're looking for questions. So if you do have questions or if you do have feedback, there'll be ample opportunity for that. And if you want to shoot me that information privately, just hit the chat button, put my name in, and let her rip. And with that, welcome to the meeting, Governor.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm having technical difficulties here in Opelousas, Louisiana, but thank you. And thank you for Pam setting us up and preparing us to learn more about how we can increase our membership across the district. I appreciate all the endeavors of our guest speakers and our organization of leaders preparing the way for this district assembly, especially on membership, which is definitely a need here in District 6200 as we experience this pandemic and realize that we're continuously changing and look forward to the outgrowth of way we're going to adjust and adapt to these changes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, District Governor. I appreciate you very much. And thank you for your kind words of encouragement leading up to this. It gave me some motivation, so I thank you. So at this point, I'm going to mute. If you would, everyone mute your mics. And I'm going to get started with my presentation. Okay. All right. Can everyone see? Yes, we're good? All right. Thank you guys again for being here. I'm sorry we're getting started a little bit late, but I promise you, I think I was a little bit over on my timing on my first presentation, so we're going to make up for it. And I tend to talk fast, so make sure you write down your questions, and we're going to get those questions answered at the end of this seminar. These are certainly interesting times we are living in. None of us could have foreseen these extraordinary circumstances brought on by COVID-19 pandemic. Rotary clubs everywhere are wrestling with the question, how do we maintain connections during this pandemic? You've heard this before because it can never be stressed enough. There are three key components to membership success. They are attract members, keep them engaged, and retain them. Our membership numbers for our district on July 1st, 2019 was 2,377. And as of July 1st, 2020, we are down 46 members to 2,331. On the surface, I'm like, well, that's, I guess, not completely horrific. 46 members is a lot, but knowing what we just have gone through these last few months, you would kind of expect a slight dip. But knowing that our district grew by two new Rotary clubs, which need at least 25 members to form, that gave me a little bit more pause in examining these numbers, knowing that, well, I know we increased it and we're still down 46 members. So because of that, that decrease in numbers, it gives me pause to say, what now of these three key components, which you need all three, is most relevant? And at this moment in time, I'm going to say it's to retain them. But if you notice they're all in the same, how do you retain them? It takes all three. But engagement is the biggest component of it to retain. So I'm going to say those two together, if you can understand my mechanism of we got to keep them, but in order to keep them, we have to engage them. But the pandemic is saying, hey, we got to kind of back off of each other and shouldn't be socializing face to face. So how do you engage yet stay and maintain social distancing? So let's see if we can come up with some simple solutions for you guys. As clubs attempt to lead by example and follow the CDC guidelines, many have turned to online meetings as a way to safely replace or one-on-one weekly meetings. Our socials, service projects, and fundraisers have become awkward or even canceled. Unfortunately, this looks like it may be the new norm. At least I hope for a while. So let's begin to think a little different. Let's consider having hybrid meetings. This is a word you're going to hear about more and more frequently as you go forward if you've not already heard them. This is where some members meet in person and others join virtually via real-time conferencing apps such as Facebook Live, Zoom, or GoToMeetings. And there's others out there. Consider creating an e-member type of membership for people who cannot get on to attend the meetings or are very concerned about social distancing or don't want to attend a even social distant membership in-face meeting, or maybe they want to avoid a meal cost. So be considering a new something called an e-member type of membership. Consider investing in some computer and video equipment to go live or to stream these videos. Also consider creating a YouTube channel and post the videos of your club meetings to this channel. Remember to send your members post-meeting a direct link to this video. So if they don't attend the meeting or they're not on the conference call or the online meeting, where do they get that, how do they see that meeting? It's important to communicate with them, send them directly. That helps them stay in touch and continues to keep them connected. Also, this is a new thing, kind of consider piggybacking, for lack of better terms, with other clubs that meet via Zoom or online at the same time, perhaps as your club, or even if they meet at different times, perhaps attempt to make flexible meeting times and join them at that particular meeting time. If they have an interesting program or guest speaker that you're thinking, well, that would be something our club would want to participate in or would enjoy hearing about. Let me give you an example. On October the 8th, at 7 a.m., the Rotary Club of Youngsville is going to have the UL's Raging Cajun baseball coach, Matt Diggs, as their guest speaker. Now, I'm sure he doesn't have a lot of time to hit every club in our district to give an update on baseball. So it was nice of him to do this for this club. I'm not too sure how many other clubs, but perhaps your club would say, well, wow, I want to get in on that. I'm sure the Rotary Club of Youngsville would be more than happy to kind of do a dual meeting with you guys. So you want to reach out to other clubs. I'm going to give you another example. The Rotary Club of Lafayette North recently had a meeting with Mayor President Josh Guillory of Lafayette Consolidated Government, and they invited other clubs to join in on this program as well. So finding interesting guest speakers through this virtual format, you may run into a brick wall going, I don't know who to get to talk, I don't have any connections. Reach out within the district and let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm interrupted because I saw a chat and Larry saying he's speaking tomorrow. So y'all have an opportunity to jump in with Lafayette North tomorrow because that's when he's speaking. It didn't happen. It's coming up tomorrow. So if you go stale with your meetings and you're thinking, I'm not too sure how to get another speaker or what we can do, reach out to someone within the district. There's connections to be made. People within the district know somebody who knows somebody, and perhaps we can get you guys some interesting speakers and or some contacts. All right. There are several ways for your club to get Zoom, because Zoom appears to be the solution of choice, but it does cost, which may be turning some clubs away from using this as their format. So there's some options to get this for a discounted rate or even free. Zoom Basic is free, but it's unlimited to the first 40 minutes or less. So you may want to consider keeping your meetings to under 40 minutes to save some money. So how could you do that? Try one meeting a month to deal with your club issues, such as a club assembly, and let the other meetings during the month be a program or a project where you're able to social distance. Also, Rotary Global Rewards offers products and services at a discounted rate to Rotarians. I'm sure many of you already know this. Right now, Zoom has a 20% discounted rate. So if you've not checked out the Rotary Global Rewards, I'm encouraging you guys to do so and take advantage of that discount. Also, there's something new that I discovered as I was looking for ways to obtain Zoom at a discounted rate. TechSoup, I have very limited knowledge of that. Our very own Larry Simon, our public image chair, may be able to shed more light on that particular website or group. If your club is a nonprofit, such as a foundation, you could get Zoom Pro for a discounted rate. How much, I'm not very sure, but that is another avenue. And some other ways that your club could do it is if maybe perhaps one of your members has Zoom Pro or one of the paid for versions of Zoom, they would be willing to share those credentials with your club, and you guys could piggyback off of that particular account. Currently, my club of Rotary Club of Abbeville, I've paid for it. I've changed my login credentials. I only need it during tax season. So I've kind of made it very generic in a password and given my club presidents full autonomy over running those Zoom meetings and conducting them as they see fit, and that seems to be working. You could check out Free Conference Call or GoToMeeting. Facebook Live is another one, Microsoft Teams, Skype, and others. My father prefers Skype over Zoom. We get in a fight all the time over it. I still say Zoom is better than Skype. Zoom has done if you've not looked at Skype lately, Skype really has done a little different interface, and it's a little bit more user-friendly. I signed up for Microsoft Teams. I kind of get lost in it right now. It's just because I don't have time to navigate it. So that's why we're going to just stick with Zoom for the majority of these conversations, because it appears to be, that's been the mechanism of choice for the clubs across the districts. If your club is doing something different, we would love to hear from you. I want you to share that with anyone that can put the word up so we can share that with other clubs. Anything successful would be beneficial to all concerned. Let's talk about tips for a successful hybrid meeting. Again, I told you this is going to be something you guys are going to hear about. So a hybrid meeting is one where both you have a Zoom meeting and an in-person meeting at the same time. These meetings require computer equipment. You're not going to pull this off with just a computer or one computer or laptop, not effectively. So a hybrid meeting, you're going to need a way to have the meeting, the Zoom meeting that is online in front of the host. And you would have an effective one would be to have a mechanism of displaying what is on that computer screen to the people and the audience and the members attending in the club meeting itself. A web camera set up within the face-to-face location where the people on the Zoom meeting can see the attendees. So it becomes a virtual hybrid of in-person versus and Zoom meetings where they can interact with each other and hear and see everything that's going on both sides of that equation. All right. So what I'm going to recommend that you guys do is, if you can get that equipment, we're going to talk about that a little. I'm going to kind of jump around in this, but you'll see we're going to want you to test your equipment. So before you start your first club's Zoom meeting, you need to train your members on video conferencing first and let them know that there's an in-call option. Do this before you, did I stop sharing? Hang on. Am I there? Wait. Why am I not? Okay, y'all with me? Don't you just love technical difficulties? Do this before your meeting start. Don't do this at your first meeting. You don't want to do this with a guest speaker on the phone. You want to get in that that venue, put up your equipment, test it, have somebody on the other end of the phone or on the computer set up to do the Zoom meeting. That way you can work out any of the kinks. Also, I'm going to recommend you guys populate the beginning of your meeting with a static, perhaps a PowerPoint slide or just an image that's going to give them some tips on online video conferencing, similar to what Frank started off the conversation with. I do have one already created. It's very generic. I'm going to share that with everyone after this webinar is over. Also, I'm going to suggest that you guys make an investment into some computer equipment. Now, I had my father who also has we're in cahoots with a computer side of our business as well. And I said, Dad, put together me a simple cost of what it would cost clubs to invest in, bare minimum, to have effective equipment to navigate these meetings, to conduct a hybrid meeting. So he put me one together, and the grand total cost that at his recommendation is $1,123. Now, I'm gonna send you what he has on this sheet of what his recommendations are. Again, this is just a suggestion. You can scratch what doesn't work, and if you've got something that could work better, I have monitors here. Perhaps the venue that you meet at has TVs, and if it does have a TV, then you can cut something out of this as well, and maybe do with something else to Bluetooth to those devices. So there's other ways that you can do that. We will talk more about setting up these hybrid meetings, and we're considering having a additional training seminar just on computer equipment, webcams, and setting these meetings up for you guys. Because if you're like me, you stand over somebody, and a lot of this may go over your head, but there's somebody above you who's a techie who this just makes perfect sense to. So we are going to give you some more information on this. Webcams, again, if your club doesn't have a webcam, that would be part of purchasing in your equipment. But here we suggest that any hybrid meeting, you should have a preset agenda, and that agenda should be accessible to everyone. So you should send that agenda out with the invite to the link to the Zoom meeting, and it should be part of that email. Also, ask for support. Don't be afraid to ask someone within your club to help you. Build a team, build your team. Allow those people to contribute to the success of your meeting. Ask others to monitor the chat boxes, to answer the questions during the call, and perhaps troubleshoot any technical issues. Also, remind everybody of the phone call in option. Those not set up for virtual meetings, they may shy away from attending one of these because they don't know how to work their web camera, or they don't know how to work their microphone, or they just don't have that option. So they can always phone in. And what happens if their computer equipment goes out? This would be a good backup resource for them as well. And lastly, I'm going to suggest that you guys establish a meeting etiquette ahead of time. So you guys will know how to interrupt the speaker, to ask a question of the speaker. You're going to know ahead of time, should the participants be on mute? Are they going to be allowed to share their screen? What about their video? So there's a lot of things that you should establish before your meetings. And that way everybody is on the same page. Again, hopefully we're going to put together, I just spoke to some of the club, the district leadership, and this is going to be a new topic we're going to be discussing, and we're going to get back to you on holding additional a tech meeting, if you would, a tech training seminar. Now this is a quick little video. It's blurry. I did it quick because it was kind of after the fact that I thought of it. I attended the Youngsville Rotary Club meeting this past Wednesday, and Greg Landry, our past district governor, Greg Landry, was the guest speaker. And I'm going to talk about some hit or misses and slips, if you would, that they did. And I can do this because this was my daughter. I'm proud to say she's the new incoming club president for this year. And afterwards, we had a little lesson learned of to-dos and not to-do. So pay attention. This is a hybrid meeting, really quick.
You need to share your screen again.
Say again?
You need to share your screen again.
Okay. How did it go away? Why did it go away, Larry?
I don't know. I might be the only one not seeing your screen. Mike, can you see her screen? Mike Hayes, no?
No, it's not there.
It's not there.
So click share screen again at the bottom.
Hang on. Well.
Pam, you're muted.
Larry, I wish you were standing behind me. Let's try it again.
Larry, you probably want her muted right now.
All right, let's
There you go. Perfect.
tell me if y'all can see it.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, I'll leave my screen like this. Okay, can everybody hear me and still see? Okay, I'm gonna assume yes. So this was just a quickie. They needed a establishment called Blu-rays. They have a TV already on the wall, and behind this TV, they have a Bluetooth device. So earlier, the laptop is here, and the laptop Bluetooth to this device. The members attended Blu-rays, and they were able to see the screen and hear Greg Landry's presentation. The negative to this setup is that the attendees on the computer attending the Zoom meeting could not see anyone within the audience. The only thing they could see is whoever stood behind the laptop. Now, you can do that, but in order to make it much more fluid, the webcam would have come in handy here. Now, if your establishment does not have a computer, a TV, you're going to need some way to echo this back to the member sitting here. That would create another monitor or projector to the audience, okay? So, but here's what I said the slip was of this particular meeting was that the club should have tested that equipment at least a day before, or at least prior to the meeting, but they didn't. They got there, they thought they had enough time, they started hooking it up, Greg was on the call, and it just became very frustrating and stressful for the club leadership and even perhaps the guest speaker. But the hit of this was that at least the club leadership understood and recognized the fact that keeping their members connected in every way they feel comfortable and able is vitally important to that membership engagement. But for me, the key takeaway from this short clip and exactly what just happened now is that we're going to fumble, and we're going to get it going. So it all works out in the end, and it's okay if we fumble with each other. Try it, make the mistakes, learn, and we're going to continue to adapt. Now I'm hopeful I can do this one, and I'm just going to click it instead of letting it do its little thing the other way. That way I don't get it messed up again. So here we have some quick images I grabbed of ongoing service projects and keeping those members engaged in service projects and activities. Here we have the club president from St. Martinville Rotary Club, Ms. Brenda McLean, and they are handing out masks to various organizations, which is amazing. This is great here. Also over here, we have Ken Furman's club, East Ascension Rotary Club. These guys are handing out school supplies during the COVID pandemic. So this is a picture of these guys. And right here, I just loved this and I had to share it. Opelousas Sunrise Club did a scavenger hunt, which is so clever. And they sent people to look for these things and take a selfie. So here we have our first governor's, what do we call him as a man? I don't remember the term, but Keith Norman doing one in front of one of these historic signs. So I wonder if Keith won the scavenger hunt. But there's ways to keep your members engaged and happy and active. And again, we can all continue to social distance. And another thing I love with these images is it shows us leading by example by wearing a mask. So I thought that was pretty good.
One point real quick, Pam.
Yes.
Scott Laverne suggested when you have a situation like your daughter's club had to use iPads and cell phones to give additional views and additional sound.
Great recommendation. And if when we have our tech meeting, we can perhaps give them some more in-depth information on that. That would be great. So Scott, appreciate that input. In the past, I've covered a wide variety of membership topics and I crammed them into this 1 hour. And the topics I've covered have been determined what I would feel is best information and the resources to make your club successful. But I want to hear from you this time. It's time that you guys tell me what it is you want and need from the district. All right, here's some of the things I've done in the past. These are topics I've covered. Understanding Rotary's flexible guidelines, satellite clubs, district membership facilitation initiative. We're going to have more about that tonight. Ways to attract, engage, and retain. I've talked about that. I've told you about alternate club types. I've talked to you about the different membership types. And I've highlighted on numerous occasions the importance of all of these aspects of membership. But tonight we're going to send you guys out into a breakout room. And you're going to tell us the top 2 things you would like more information on. And the district, I and the district will hold some additional membership webinars based on this feedback. And they're going to be topic specific. How many am I going to have? It just depends on your feedback. How long will they be? No longer than an hour, but just depends on your feedback. So right now, we're going to break out into some rooms. It's already been assigned. You're going to go, it's going to be 10 minutes. And as soon as your 10 minutes are up, you're going to jump right back on into this main room. So you guys, we're going to see you in just a few minutes.
Should we cut this down to 5 considering the time?
Let me take a look at my thing. And yes, yes, you are absolutely correct. We will. So 5 minutes. I don't know how, Frank, that's going to mess you up, but let's go. Everybody click join.
Shelley, I'm trying to get you into a room. So,
Okay, thank you.
all right.
Sorry I'm so late.
No problem. Okay, just click the deal, Shelley, and it'll send you.
Outside of the pandemic, but it just makes it more difficult now. But just good ways to get people in.
One idea I can share real quick is we invited the Toastmasters Club to come to our Zoom meetings, and we've had 3 Toastmasters at every one of our meetings, and some of them are kind of interested in joining. So we're going to looking at other organizations, like they talked about the shared meetings. We're trying to do a little more of that, but definitely I agree with you. How do you reach people?
Annette, what happened? You got kicked out of the
I
room?
don't know. Yes. My internet lagged so bad.
You want to be put back in, or they're getting ready to come out in just about 30 seconds.
How much they got left, Frank?
30 seconds.
Okay, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. You been doing okay?
All right. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, been doing good, doing good. How about you?
Been doing good.
Oh,
Just trying to stay safe,
I feel the same way.
I know.
Feel the exact same way.
Did
All
they
right,
just-
I'm
did they-
gonna call you probably tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Well, they're going to be coming back to the main room in like 2 or 3 seconds. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, they'll be closed in 1 minute.
That's good. Don't worry about it. We're good. Thank you.
Okay.
Frank, can you hear me?
Hey, Dr. Pat, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
How you been doing?
Good. How about yourself?
All righty. Oh, see him slowly coming back.
The biggest question I have is ideas on how to attract new members. 'Cause, I get lost when I try to think about that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing everyone should do is go back and watch the PR public image from 3 weeks ago.
All right, so that went well. Welcome back, everyone. And at this time, I'm going to turn this over to our very own Assistant Rotary Zone Coordinator, Randy Feldman. I had a nice slide with you for intros, Randy, but without further ado, I'm turning it over to you, and I'm going to mute.
There we go. Okay. Hope you all can hear me. Chris Duhan, if you can hear me, please indicate. So very good. Wonderful thumb you have, Chris. Okay, so I'm supposed to be talking about retention and attraction facilitation in the time of COVID-19. And there we go. Or how I learned to stop worrying and to love Zoom. I am Randy Feldman, and I'm Zone 31 Assistant Rotary Coordinator. And that picture is just wrong. I'm much grayer than that. Let's try it. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so I am Assistant Rotary Coordinator. My job primarily is to help all 4 districts, 6200, 6190, 6820, and 6840 in their membership activities. Now you may be asking yourself if your district and the other 3 need any help in membership, or is this just one of those bureaucratic things that Rotary does to keep past district governors like me from staring at a wall at home, all alone? And the answer to that is unfortunately no. Membership in North America is down so much that we actually lost a director on the RI board. And even more importantly, we're reducing our ability to provide services to our communities, services that they deserve. And it's very simple. Fewer members mean less resources. That is, fewer people to give of their time and money to be part of the solution to the issues facing us. We talked a little bit about the numbers before. These are the numbers for 6200 over the past 5 years. And it shows that in, I don't know if you can see my cursor on that, but in 2016, 2017, that's when you peaked, 2,490 members. The figure for 2019, 2020, Pam gave you an update, but and they're even lower than the 2,380. But the final numbers will be available in mid-August. But from what we can tell and what Pam was telling you, this 2,380 will actually be down much further than that. COVID-19 simply fed the decline, but it was going in that direction. Does anyone know who that man is with past District Governor Harold Domingue? Just unmute and
Greg Yank.
Greg Yank. Very good, Lawrence. You get several brownie points for that. Yeah, that's past District Governor Greg, RI Director Greg Yank, and he's from zones 30 and 31. Greg looked at these numbers for 6,200 and all the districts in our zone 30s and 31, and the great majority of which were down. And he decided he just couldn't have this anymore. So he gathered together a group of enthusiastic membership gurus and asked them to come up with a plan. And there they are, a very enthusiastic group of membership gurus, one of whom apparently knew exactly what to do and where to go. In any case, these guys studied, and they identified 12 attraction strategies and 12 engagement strategies. And I know you can't read them, but that's okay for the moment. There are things there like create a club brochure, adopt new membership categories like corporate memberships or family memberships, or as was pointed out earlier, e-club memberships. Create a satellite club, create a membership competition program, and my personal favorite, have a greeter. Through the chat box, see if you can come up with an answer to this. How long does it take a person to decide whether to become a member of your club once they enter the meeting area? How long do you think? Just go ahead in your chat box and write down a word or two. Okay, so we have about, let's see, we have 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 1 minute. Anybody else? 5 minutes. Okay, 30 seconds. Harold, you've heard me talk before. The actual answer is 2 seconds. That's all it takes for a person to decide whether they're going to join a club or not. And that's why the greeter is my personal favorite. Somebody's got to be there as soon as they come in and be welcomed and introduced to the president of the club, or given to somebody to sit with for the entire time. These strategies, these 12 attraction and 12 engagement strategies, became the foundation of the Zone Membership Initiative, which is now going on throughout our zones 30 and 31. You're in zone 31 if you didn't know, and you're down at the bottom here, that's where you are, District 6200. Okay, so what exactly happens in the Zone Membership Initiative? Well, you select 3 attraction strategies from that list of 12, and you select 3 engagement strategies from the other list, and then the rubber hits the road. You create an action plan for each strategy you have chosen. And this is what that action plan form looks like. Each strategy, you figure out what you're going to do, who's going to do it, when it's going to take place, and what results do you expect when all of this is implemented, and who is going to champion this particular action plan. Okay, so what will you get when you take part? You end up with 6 detailed action plans for 6 membership strategies chosen by the member committee for the club, and a highly trained facilitator from 6200, one of your own, who will help you through this process and be with you as a resource until the plans are completed. Now, you may be thinking that this doesn't look too hard and you can probably do it yourself. And you would be right. You can do it yourself. I don't really know any of your clubs, but I can only look at the experience doing this in zones 30 and 31, which tells us that you probably won't do it by yourself. This process that you would do with a facilitator is a painless way to get it done. So, what do you need to do if you choose to take part? First off, contact Pam. There's her phone number. You can jot that down. There's her email address. Pam will gladly respond to any inquiry. And then have your membership chair get 2 other people to take part. And then arrange for the 2-hour facilitation. Now, what does a facilitation look like? Well, previously it was 3 club members talking to each other in the same room for 2 hours, aided by a trained district facilitator at some mutually agreed upon location and day. But now, how will you do facilitations in the time of COVID-19? Well, with these guys, and we've just been talking about that. You can view it, actually you can do it in person, of course, but you can do it with these facilitation possibilities. And they're all the ones we've been talking about, and there are others. Now, what are the formats you can use for these digital platforms? Well, you can still do a 2-hour facilitation if you like, but some facilitators think that 2 hours at any sitting is too long, and they're doing 2 1-hour facilitations. But the real benefit is that you're doing this all in the comfort of your home or office. No driving time, hassles, no parking, no cost, etc. And the following is not a commercial endorsement, but as Pam mentioned to you, with Rotary Rewards, if you don't already have it, you can get it for about 20% off or maybe $30 off an annual fee. Now, why should a club do this? Well, for one thing, District 6840 has proved it's working. Prior to COVID-19, the district membership was up. But here's the very interesting numbers. Of the clubs that took part in the facilitations, their membership was up 4.4%. The rest of the district was down 0.1%. Yes, COVID-19 messed this all up, but prior to that, the numbers were up, and the clubs that didn't take part continued the downward membership trend. In addition, the membership initiative engages the club. It starts with just 3 people, then goes to the board, then to the entire club, and an engaged club means a club that keeps its members. And as you know, more members means more resources and better services for your community. And now I can get to say something I've always wanted to say. But wait, there's more. In these action plans, you decide how long to implement each of the strategies. Some clubs complete them all in 6 months. Some take 2 years. Some do the plans one after the other. Some do them all at once. It all depends on your projects, your club, your membership. You decide. Engagement of the clubs is crucial for the immediate future of Rotary. We all know that there is going to be less money out there as a result of COVID-19. Rotarians, like everyone else, are going to be making decisions based on where to spend the discretionary dollars they do have. Facilitations are a valuable tool to keep the club active and engaged. It demonstrates that even in this difficult period, Rotary is an important way to invest their time and resources. And best of all, there is no downside. Just 3 people spending 2 hours and you have a plan. Now, one final thought. This is Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He was an anti-Nazi German who was killed notwithstanding his good works. Bonhoeffer said that action springs not from thought, but from a readiness for responsibility. Rotary gives us the opportunity to take responsibility for our communities, and that is what true leadership is about. Taking responsibility, taking action. We need to do this now. At this unprecedented time, we need to take responsibility for our communities. And as Rotarians, the first way to act is to make our clubs strong so that they can take action. We can't just think about it. We have to take responsibility. And membership is the key. There is simply no question about that. It gives us the power to create, yes, lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. Once we take responsibility, we take action. And when we take action, we have demonstrated true leadership. RI President Holger Kanak has told us through his theme this year that Rotary opens opportunities. Let us go through this door, you and I together, all of us, and seize this opportunity to make our clubs not only stronger, but an actualization of what true leadership is. And we, our clubs, and our communities will come out of this new reality in which we find ourselves stronger than when we entered it. Leadership, action, opportunity. Membership is the key. And now, here's Rob Roy.
Hey guys, my name is Rob Roy. I'm the District 6200 Satellite Chair. We are, as you already know, running behind on our time. So I think satellite clubs is probably one of the biggest pushes for membership in our district, and I think the biggest tool to use to grow membership. I don't think I will be able to successfully talk about it in a lot of time, and we're trying to get you out in time. So after speaking to Pam, we're just going to add my presentation to the next webinar. So Pam, go ahead.
Thank you, Rob, for that. And I'm sorry, but I do want to cover that. That's much too much information for everyone tonight. And again, as I said before, we cram these things into 1 hour, and that makes it very difficult. And membership is all inclusive. So I'm going to quick ask, are there any questions tonight? And I need you to know that we will be having additional meetings on membership, specifically targeted to your feedback tonight. So do not feel that, well, I didn't get anything from this. No, it's coming, and it's coming directly based on your input. And I do thank you for that. And we're looking for hopefully in the fall for doing that. But in the meantime, you guys, let's, instead of texting them to Mike, I still love Mike to talk. I love to hear his voice, but unmute your mic and let's ask some questions right quick. If you have to jump off because it's 7 o'clock, I do understand. And I do thank you guys for being here this evening. And I thank everyone who helped me facilitate this meeting. So if you have any questions, ask away.
I do want to take a moment and thank Randy for joining us and giving us his insight. It's very well done, Randy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
Any questions, anyone? Unmute, ask.
I'm going to say follow up is the key to membership retention. After you get the member, you got to follow up and maybe some help in that area.
I know one of the things that we do is that we have a sponsor, a Rotarian who's a sponsor, each one of our new Rotarians, and they stick pretty close to them. We have, I mean, with COVID, it's going to be a lot different. There's no doubt about that. But we have lots of projects within our schools, within our town. We're the only club in town, so we kind of have a monopoly on everything. So, and we have very active members. But I think that finding new ways in this environment is going to be a key question for us to be able to keep our membership up.
And my final thoughts that I had in my notes, I was going to suggest that you guys really make sure that you're communicating to your club members everything. Don't compose an email and assume that they were in the live meeting because you guys may be doing a Zoom meeting one day and a live meeting another, or, you know, or the hybrid. Don't assume that they are coming in on the backside of a conversation. Make those emails all inclusive to bring them up to speed. That way they know what you guys are talking about. We can get an email saying, oh, and don't forget, as we said at the meeting, you know, if they weren't at the meeting, now that some people may not be feeling comfortable, if you guys are just meeting in person and not doing Zoom, well, they're not, if I'm worried that I'm going to contract COVID or I'm not comfortable, I may not be at that meeting. How do I know what you guys said at that meeting? If you're not taping them or giving us an update of what was discussed at that meetings, that could become a problem. So you need a communicator within the club back to your members to help them continue to feel engaged. That way they feel like they're still a part of your club. So one perfect communication back to your members, and don't just jump them in the middle of a conversation. Spell it out for them. That's very important. That way they feel they are connected from the beginning of the conversation through it. So that's just kind of one little tidbit of my 2 cents. But if we have no other questions, we are a little bit over 7. I do apologize, but I do thank you for your patience. And I do thank everyone for being here.
Thank y'all, everyone, for participating. Appreciate it very, very much. And I apologize for being late. I've been fighting with technology all day, you know, dealing with, not fighting, but being challenged by it. Let's put it challenged. Thank you.
Well, as governor, you have a lot on your plate, so you're entitled.
It's been interesting. Okay.
Yes, very good. Again, thank everyone. Frank Bradshaw, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do. Mike Hayes.